The stream is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah!
Yay!
I am Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Millie Katie as Korakoid,
Ah!
Nobilis as Spine,
What are you looking at?
Lee Burdett as Malleus,
Okay.
Paul Weimer as Tarsus,
The power of Vulcan will protect us.
and Dove Archambault as Kneecap.
New friends?
We also hope to have Jason Banks joining us as Radius, but he's running a bit behind. Hopefully he will join us as we proceed. But when last we left our heroes, collectively known as the Skeleton Crew, they had been traveling all across the Outlands here in the Planescape setting, trying to recalibrate a mosaic Mimir, a sort of data storage device that they hope, when it's complete, will lead them to a rogue Modron named Rome, who may have clues as to their strange reality glitching nature. Reality glitching, you say? Yes. Whenever they die, they are immediately replaced by some alternate version of themselves. And sometimes, even when they don't die. And there seems to be, broadly speaking, some reality shattering issues surrounding them. Aha, and there's Jason. Welcome, Jason Banks as Radius.
Greetings.
So, I was just giving the recap. When last we saw them, they had just finished their work here in the gate town of Rigus. They helped to fend off an incursion from the war-torn outer plane of Acheron. And as a reward, they were given the privileges of sleeping in the officer's barracks and a reward from the officer's armory. And so all of you have completed a long rest here in relative comfort. And I think as you are getting ready in the morning, you do receive a pitch from the commander that you so recently helped out, who just says, "Now, I understand that you all have other business, but you did fight well here. I don't suppose I could persuade any of you to stay and serve Rigus permanently."
Not
I-
no.
Unfortunately, we are a team and we work best all together, and we do unfortunately have other business. It was an honor to help protect Rigus against the extraplanar incursion, but we do have other business elsewhere. Thank you.
Understood.
Yes.
So it is you all who notice that several of your number are different than they were, and yet for some reason this commander seems to react to you all as though this is the group that she met in the first place. And so even though both Malleus and Cora were killed during that initial fight and then replaced by very different versions of themselves, that does not seem to trigger any surprise from anyone outside of your crew. It's as though these were who they always saw. But
Malleus is gonna, on their way out, he's gonna go back and say, "Hey, look, seal's unbroken. Please take this off."
oh, yeah, certainly they, so I think the person whose job it is to deal with these magical seals is giving you a little bit of a look like, why are you acting like I should be like, thank you or impressed for simply following the rule that you agreed to when you came into the city?
No reason.
All
Thank
right.
you for removing the seal. I appreciate your patience.
Understood. But then they're still giving you a little bit of a look, like.
Malleus is the first one out the fucking door. He
Not
does
surprised.
not like this place. He's like, I'm out.
Mhm,
Y'all
Mhm.
proceed at your own pace.
Kneecap is
Right
second.
behind you.
mhm. So you do all have a day's travel as you leave behind this tiered fortress of a city. You recall now your agreement that the walking castle would be uh, parked outside of reach of the city. And so that means you have something like a day's travel
Mhm.
on foot to get
Mhm.
there. So, um, are you making any special business of looking for anything surprising around here, or is this just like double time it? Let's get back to the castle in a hurry.
I know.
I think it's a tactically best option. We can all
Yeah.
catch up and learn about each other once we're at the castle and on safer ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I will grab all my old version stuff, even if I don't end up using all of it, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she's got on her.
I think I was carrying your body at one
Yeah.
point.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I think I
Yeah.
have
was
your stuff because I
carrying
carry.
somebody's body.
Yeah, I think I was carrying your body.
Okay,
Um,
then when we
Briefly.
get back,
Then I can give you everything.
we
Yes.
will.
All right.
I'll sort through stuff.
All right, Malleus will kind of fall back in line with Spine and ask. So you still have the Mimir, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That would have been tragic.
Just checking.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure to get it.
Hmm.
So I think as you have all been walking most of the day, you've made some good progress. The sun is not yet low on the horizon, but working on it. And you are walking through an area where there's a lot of tall grass, like it's 5 or 6 feet tall. So it's certainly, for those of you who are small, it is difficult to have much of a view of like what's coming. You're kind of just, in a forest of this tall grass. But you.
All you see of Kneecap is just a party in grass.
Mhm. And I would imagine you all need to make sure that you're staying close together because it would be very easy to lose one another in tall grass of this kind if you ever get out of sight.
Yes.
But in any case, though, you're making your way through here and you're kind of curving around Spireward to where you're eventually going to hopefully see your walking castle come back into view. But before that happens, as you are walking through this tall grass, suddenly you emerge into a wide clearing in the tall grass.
Where all of it's knocked down mysteriously.
Well, yes,
Mhm.
in a fashion, but what you actually see here is a gigantic flat diamond. Its 3 points marked with squat pedestals, shimmers within a ringed field. Celestials in radiant uniforms practice at swatting glowing orbs on one side of the field, while elephantine demons on the other side trumpet at them through barbed trunks to break their concentration. It looks as though they are getting ready to play a sport of some kind.
Uh-oh.
A boxy winged Modron in a padded helmet with a face cage hovers in front of you. Greetings. It appears you've stumbled on our ball game, reports the Modron. Care to participate?
What is this game?
Aha, yes, well. due to a bargain made between an ancient god and a demon lord many, many centuries ago. This is a ritual that is performed at some regular interval every 300 years. The Celestials and the Fiends each field a team, in this case, the Noxious Stampede, gesturing to the demons, and the Righteous Hands, to the Celestials, and they are vying for a single soul over a sport. And I, as an impartial umpire, my name is GO41, sometimes called Goal. It is my job to observe the ball and stick game, which we call Spireball. However, it is considered good fortune for either team to accept players who may happen upon the game.
So we would join one of the two teams.
If you like, you may also simply observe if you prefer.
What are the rules of this game?
It is very simple. There is an offense team and a defense team, and they take turns alternating positions. You see the three pedestals. Here's the thing. It's basically baseball. There's two bases instead of three to run around, but the rest is basically the same. So it is, the offensive team is set up with these special clubs designed to strike the thrown orb when it is pitched to them by the defensive team. If you hit, you must run and touch all of the bases and return to the home plate and score points, while the other defensive team attempts to place you out by tagging the base or you with the orb.
I say we play for the demons.
You said play for the demons?
Yeah, so some of the demons start like hooting their.
Go blink, blink. What? What?
Yeah.
All right, you join the demons. I'll join the angels in the outfield.
Oh.
So, Radius.
You're not gonna get like a reward in heaven for this, you know.
Oh,
It doesn't
I
matter.
Oh my God.
I know.
And-
know.
Radius is so. Is there something on the line other than say bragging rights?
Well, the fate of the soul in question.
Whose soul is in the balance here? Goal.
It is a random soul selected from the astral sea.
Basically just scoop one up and that's it. The one.
I may not be effective as a player, but I feel I should support the celestial side in some way.
The two teams have noticed all of your arrival and are definitely each encouraging people to join. The Celestials are saying, "Come, help us to redeem this poor soul and bring them to an eternity of paradise. It is the right thing to do." And then the demons are saying, they're stupid. Come on, this soul doesn't deserve nothing. Come on over and play for the right team.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kneecap is just gonna stand next to Malleus and Tarsus.
Yeah, I think we're Team Celestial here.
Yeah.
We three anyway.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
I'm also like
this is a soul that wasn't like lucked as soon as he died for his reward. He's just floating around out there.
who's
Didn't-
won more, which side's won more often?
do you keep statistics? do you keep statistics of the games? Goal.
If they don't keep statistics, it's not baseball.
They
It's not
reach into
baseball.
some extra dimensional pocket and pull out what looks like a huge 3-ring binder.
Oh God.
It's like, I
Yeah.
have statistics. However, it is important to understand that a past win-loss ratio is not always directly applicable to each individual game, as the players differ.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I figured I'd throw something in to just be funny.
So we've got so far we've got 3 on the celestial side.
One on the demon side.
And so
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I'm an ASMR, so I'm probably going to go Celestial, but I figured
Yeah.
I-
Malleus will switch teams. That way it's That's way it's even, and
Yeah.
we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, I will make sure that it's even. So whatever side is missing one, Radius will join the other. We'll join that one, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
just for fun.
you'd be on the
Just for
the
fun,
demon
except
side.
of course for that one soul who's
Yeah,
either
the
going to go
soul
to
is a-
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's 5 of us. There's 5 of us, so one
There's
team is
6 of
going.
us. No, there's
Oh, there's
6.
6 of us.
There's
Why
6.
don't they?
Yeah.
There's 5
So
others.
I think
Right.
so. It sounds like we've got Tarsus, Korra, and Wait, so
kneecap.
Tarsus, Korra, and Kneecap
Kneecap
joining
on
the
so- yeah.
celestial, the righteous hands, and then Korra, Malleus, and Spine on the noxious stampede.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
I-
right.
I thought I was on the Celestial side.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm
oh,
on the demon. Because you're
Okay.
you're an ASMR, right?
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
So you be celestial and I'll be the demon.
okay.
Demons
Well, okay. So I think that's so. So okay, Radius, Malleus,
Yeah.
and Spine on the
And Spine
Noxious
are-
Stampede, and then Korra, Tarsus, and Kneecap on the Righteous Hands. Okay.
Got it. Yeah, you need a scorecard to keep track of the players.
Yes.
Hey, we're going up in the statistics of this goal guy forever.
Yeah.
Whether win or lose.
So let's see. I briefly looked at how this is all. So So basically, what is going to happen here? We've got the rules is. The offensive team is going to roll initiative to determine the batting order. And then then as you bat, you're going to make an athletics check. And so if you hit the ball, you send it flying, and then the defensive team is going to make a check to try to catch it. Which is also it's an acrobatics check, and you essentially decide who on the defensive team is trying to do it, and then if they don't catch it, then you basically make a base. If you get a natural 20 on your athletics to hit the ball, that's a home run, and so you score, and everybody who's on base scores. Reminder that there's 2 bases, not 3. And then that's basically it. So
And this all takes place on a large diamond.
A large diamond, a field of green,
Yeah.
I might even say.
yes. So those of you who have let's see, hang on. Sorry, I'm just going to have to make the both teams now because you so Korra, Tarsus, and Kneecap on Righteous Hands. And then they are... so you notice now, as you each join your respective teams, that the Malleus, Radius, and Spine walk over, and the Noxious Stampede consists of 9 Maleficents, which are you met some of these when you originally went to Cursed. They are kind of like elephantine humanoids, but they are in fact demons and have very like monstrous features. I think we have maybe a handout for those that may have shared already. No, I haven't, but I'm going to share one now. So
Aha.
Maleficents. So they are demonic, as you can see. And then the celestial team is comprised of 8 Hound Archons and a Diva. So Hound Archons were basically sort of the dog humanoid celestials, like the detective you met in.
Yeah, we met that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so you are replacing some of the 3 of the Hound Archons because, as mentioned, they have brought enough that it was, they're originally going to field 9, but it is considered good luck to, as I mentioned, to accept any players that happen by. So the star pitcher of the Noxious Stampede stomps over to the rest of you and just says, you made the right choice. We're going to have a lot of fun today, pounding the snot out of those guys. And you see he's wearing a uniform that has like spray painted onto the back of it, Snot Rocket.
Oh God.
And then likewise, you have those of you who are over joining the Righteous Hands are greeted and celebrated in a very, TV friendly, good sportsman-like way. And the diva who carries a flanged mace, who is apparently using that instead of the bat club that everybody else is using.
Oh no.
Introduces themselves as I am Shariel, and together we will demonstrate that when good comes together, it can always defeat evil. So let's figure out this actual game and actually play it. Sound fun?
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tarsus is going
Yeah.
to ask the coach though, what are the rules about things like spell casting?
Well, the rules as far as spellcasting is concerned, it is not precisely against the rules. However, you will need to make the specific actions such as hitting the orb, catching, etc. All of these things must be done in a standard way. If you have magic other than that, it is not precisely against the rules. Certainly no one who is not participating in the game may use any magic to influence the result.
Yeah.
So spellcasters as participants is the better idea.
What?
Well,
right.
specifically, you're still making acrobatics and athletics.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking about guidance here.
Mm. Well,
Mhm.
so the key there would just be, would you be able to, within the bounds of the game, reach that person and give it to them? Because guidance only lasts a minute and must be
Right.
touch the
But
person.
if we're a bat or if we're sitting
If
in
you're
a
sitting in the
dugout,
dugout ready to bat,
that's
it
Yeah.
seems like that would be a
right.
great time to put guidance on people as they walk
Exactly.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, is this kosher?
Let me see. Actually, there's a fun piece of art here that I want to see if I can share with you. But it's like the way that they've got it here is it's not. It's like it's just part of the description of the thing, and so it's not like a separate player handout to easily share. But it's a picture of Shariel and their mace. So let me. Go ahead and put that in all players. So you don't need to read all the text, but I want you to be able to see the Angels in the Outlands artwork.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so what happens? So what happens if the ball gets caught on one of those spikes?
Oh boy.
Automatic
Then that
out?
counts as an out. If they catch it, that's how it works. Yeah. So, let me. I wanted to.
I have a feeling as batting those spikes wouldn't cause me real issue because magic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have us roll first. we're going to do a roll to see who ends up doing offense and defense first. You're each going to play offense and defense once. That's how it
Okay.
works.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
so I'm going to have the first. Let's have one of each of you needs to choose a representative to essentially like do the coin flip.
I thought
I'll
Okay,
volunteer
Tarsus
for
will do
the
it for this side.
Yeah.
our side.
Okay. And Snot Rocket is getting ready to do it unless someone steps forward to put themselves up for it on the other team.
Yeah, Spine definitely steps forward to do it on our side.
All right. So Goal looks at the two of you and says, all right, I need one of you to volunteer to call highs or lows. And then the other will roll a d20 to see whether it is, 11 and up or 10 and below.
I'll call high.
So roll 1d20.
Yep. Okay, and
Yep.
low. So that means the righteous hands may choose whether they want to be offense or defense first.
You mean the Noxus because he called.
He said hi.
You called high.
Spine said.
Oh, right.
Hi.
Let's go on defense first.
Okay. So that means the batting order for Noxious Stampede needs to come first. So Malleus, Radius, and Spine roll initiative, and I'm going to roll 6 initiatives for the Maleficent other players. Okay. So
I have the ability initiative swap
yeah.
from my alertness feat, and so I would like to swap with whoever rolls highest on our team.
Okay. Yeah, we got someone rolled a natural 20, which for them is still just they have no modifier, so it's just a 20. So you want to swap so that you're first?
Yeah, I got a 9. I want to
Okay.
swap with them if they're they have to be willing, but
you know what? Sure.
okay.
But you better deliver, Pinky. All right, and so I think let's see. We also got 11 for Malleus,
Mm-hmm.
Radius 5, and then the other. So and the 9 was what you swapped for, right?
Yeah, the 9 is what I swapped.
Okay. 6, 9. Okay. I'm not perhaps doing this in the least complicated way, but it should work. And then okay. So the way this works is that the pitcher has come to the pitcher's mound. You are up first, Spine. And so as they wind up with this glowing orb, they pitch it to you, and now we need an athletics check from you. It is a DC 20 to hit it.
Nope, just got a 15.
Okay, so unfortunately, you are out.
Okay.
only
Is
one.
that right? Hang on. Let me just double check. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Let's see. Oh, no, you can do it up to 3 times. Yeah, so it is 3 strikes. Okay, so first pitch is this, Steve Reich says goal.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have anything that can improve my chances here. We don't have any of those abilities there, so yeah. It's DC 20. I got a fairly good chance. My skill is +5, so that would be a batting average of 250. So that's
All right. So they're winding up for another pitch.
18, that one was closer, but no.
Nope. Strike 2.
Yeah. Nope.
And there's
Three close.
three
but no
strikes
cigar.
are out, and the demons are all booing you and spraying
Oh.
you. They're like spitting and blowing snot on you from their trunks.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you did not pick the good sportsman team. So it is one of the Maleficents who is up next, and so let me pull their.
Might as
So
well just make 3 rolls and
yeah,
you know,
I
and,
I, I
you know,
will.
and see if any of them hit in the
Mhm.
bunch.
Well, look, they actually hit for the first one, and so that Maleficent is is running, and now the defensive team, the Righteous Hand, you need to pick one of you who is going to try to run and catch it.
With acrobatics.
Yeah, I
My
believe it does
acrobatics-
just say you get to pick as a team one fielder of your choice.
Yeah.
My acrobatics
let's
is minus
of, well,
1.
of your choice. I wonder. You know what? I'm gonna say that it's the players that decide. I could decide,
Okay.
but because
Okay.
in a real game, obviously, it's not
Right.
just any fielder, but
Lee, how's your acrobatics?
You mean Mildred? Lee's on the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
So my current
My acrobatics is pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're gonna get pwned here.
Yeah,
that thing
my
is-
acrobatics is a +1. I'm just double checking my wild shape options.
Mine is a
Okay.
-1, so I am not the choice.
Because
Oh yeah.
um
Oh, I
okay.
What's yours?
+2. I actually went ahead and rolled and got it 13.
Okay, well, so unfortunately that's a miss.
Yep.
So we have one Maleficent on base. Um,
Cap is glowering at that Maleficent.
yeah. All right. So the next noxious stampede batter is actually Malleus.
All right. Let's see if I can do a little better.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to get sprayed, it would mess up my hairdo.
Sure. So. All
Nope.
right. Okay, so the
Ooh.
first pitch, strike 1. And let's go ahead and keep rolling.
22.
Are you
That's
rolling
it.
with advantage?
Yeah,
Why?
because that is one of the fighter feats is that he has that advantage on athletics.
Are you champion fighter?
Yeah.
And it's always advantage on athletics?
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. Then
Wow.
yeah, so 22, that does hit then. Yes, so all right. The ball is in the air. Now what about our righteous hands? You can choose to have one of the Hound Archons try to catch it if you like, or the Deva, if you all want.
Do we have a sense that the
I imagine the
outcome-
Dave is probably going to be better than you guys.
yeah.
Yeah, let's have the
We have
David
the
go.
David
Let's
go
have the
for
David.
this
Yes,
one?
have the David go for it. Yes, because I'm terrible. I mean, the two people with athletics and are on the other team.
So you don't know their stats, but the David does look pretty impressive.
It's got to be better than a -1.
Okay, you want them to make it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Making me weird.
They got a
quasi-team
20
captain.
exactly, which is a catch. So Malleus is out.
Ooh.
Okay. So next up is another Maleficent. Going to roll
And
athletics.
I'm pretty sure Radius is last. I'm sure I had the lowest initiative.
They
right?
actually hit on the first one too because they're strong. So once again, I'm gonna. How about this? I think the flip side of the coin of you getting to pick is that you can't pick the same person twice,
That's fair.
and until everybody has gone.
Okay.
So-
I'll take the I'll take the hit here. So
Okay.
it's acrobatics.
You also have 5 Hound Archons that can go.
True.
Acrobatics, yes.
All right. Just to get my bad roll out of the way. Yep. Now you.
Oh,
Okay, unfortunately, that means that there's now runners on
Yeah.
bases 1 and 2.
oh no.
Okay, hang on. I don't know why
I think next time we
Go
should
that
have
way.
found our cons do it.
I. Well,
Just
I mean, you've already gone, so
yeah.
it would be that or Cora. So
all right. Then we've got. Gosh, I am not. Yeah, hang on. Okay, so there's several of the more Maleficents because you that are going before you, Radius, because you rolled so low. I'm afraid.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so next it is another Maleficent. That is gonna strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. And so they are out, and that is 3 outs, which I believe is the rule.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In baseball.
Yeah.
and baseball.
And so,
Okay. So we did not score any runs.
no.
Well, crap.
Well, hang on. So,
Well, good.
But
Or is it that every side
Yeah.
gets one goes
Okay.
to the batting order once?
yeah, and I believe, no, it is until each team has played offense and defense once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, has there been 3 outs?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
One for
Spine,
Spine, one for
Malleus, and
me.
Demon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Malleus.
Oh, yeah,
Spine
yeah.
struck out. Malleus
Got
caught
caught.
out, and then just this Maleficent just now.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that means that we are switching sides.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonder what happens if
Okay.
it's a tie.
Ooh.
What if,
Extra
what
innings.
if, what if there's no runs at all on either side?
Ooh.
I'm gonna definitely play over the left field area there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
first of all, we've got initiative. We need initiative rolls for Cora, Tarsus, and Kneecap.
Okay. All right, so 13 for me.
7 for me.
Okay. Wow, all of the Archons rolled low on initiative, which I guess is good for you all to potentially get to.
8.
Oh boy,
Okay.
I think we all
Okay,
mostly did terrible.
so 8 and then 7 for Tarsus. And then what was yours, Cora?
13.
13. Okay, and then let's see, Sariel. Also rolled pretty low. Let's see. 9, 2, 4, 7, 10. Okay, yeah, that's a lower rolling initiative team. With Cora with 13 is going first out of 9.
Okay, but before
Okay.
Cora goes up, I'm going
Okay.
to put my hand on her shoulder and say, "The power of Vulcan will inspire you to do well at athletics." I'm going to cast guidance on her.
Okay, and athletics is strength.
Drink.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to enhance ability
Okay.
on myself. So no, not at 5th level.
Oh god.
I don't need to do that many people.
I mean, you
okay,
could cast it on everybody who's, like your first 3 people or something. I mean, not to.
Yeah, I could do that. So 1, 2. I'll cast it at 4th level.
Okay. And that's
So
how many?
that'll be 3 people.
Okay.
So myself and the next 2 in line.
So that's going to be
Um,
one of the Hound Archons and Kneecap. Will be.
And then I'm going to enhance strength.
Okay.
So it means we get advantage on
Strength.
ability
Yeah.
checks.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So then All right, let's see what
So,
happens.
Good thing too, because Snot Rocket is taking the pitcher's mound,
Oh.
and it appears that yes, he does fire the pitches out of his trunk. Like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Spitballs
boy.
have got nothing on this.
Mhm.
Oh,
right.
wow.
Not balls.
Balls.
Yeah, Catfish
All
Hunter
right.
is jealous.
All right, so roll athletics with advantage, and then your guidance as well. So the guidance
Okay.
will only apply to the first.
Am I attached to a token or something?
You shouldn't need to be.
You don't need to be.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because, all right.
We're not using tokens for
so-
this.
Yeah.
Okay, 19 for the first, and the other one.
So yeah,
So 19 high.
19 is a miss, unfortunately. It's
that with
close.
your-
Ah,
inspiration? Or
with
without
the guidance. Did you add the
with
D4?
the guidance. Oh,
Okay.
no, didn't add that D4.
Okay,
Okay,
well
there
then
you
you've
go.
got the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because even if
because
you roll a
you're
one,
gonna
you
get a
get a
one. So
Mhm.
19 is 20.
Yeah, so that is a pitch. It's in the air. What about
Woohoo.
the fielders? Who's going for it?
I'll go for it.
Okay, Spine, make an acrobatics roll.
Oh!
21. So that's a
Oh.
catch.
So
Cora is caught
close.
out.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. That means next up is one of the Hound Archons. I think that he's a lefty. He looks like a Jack Russell Terrier man.
Shift a little towards center field there.
So let's have him roll his athletics with advantage. Ah, that's another hit. For
Okay. Now
22.
I can't try to catch that one too, right? We've got to,
Correct. You
No.
need to have someone else
Okay.
do one. Radius is rolling something, but I don't.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. So you need to decide who's going for this one. You can have one of the Maleficents do it.
What do you guys have for acrobatics?
Oh, I am an intellectual. I am trash.
Okay.
Physicality.
Lee,
I am +8.
then you go for it. +8's great.
Acrobatics.
18.
18
Oh.
is not enough. So that first Archon is on base. Okay, next is Kneecap, who is also going to be rolling with advantage.
Okay.
Bada.
Yeah.
What? 16. Jeez.
Okay, well, strike one.
Strike one.
Mm-hmm.
$23.
No.
Okay, that's a hit.
I think we should have one of the demons catch this one.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
3 hits
okay.
in a row is
They are better at hitting than catching, but let's see how it goes. No, that's a 4. That's yeah. That's a miss. So the first Archon advances to base 2, and Kneecap is on base 1.
at least now they don't have advantage anymore.
So Tarsus, you are actually
Oh.
next.
Oh my God. Oh, well, this will go
You
bad.
can guide
Yeah.
yourself.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll cast guidance. The power of Vulcan, please.
I think
Give me-
actually you uniquely can guidance on each pitch. Rather, with everyone else, I think you could really only justify the first one.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna
Also
guide my-
remember, didn't I give you enhance ability
We
strength?
did no.
No, you
So
gave-
the
no, you
first
gave
the
it for
first
the
icon.
3 batters, which was
Yeah.
you
No, but- so I
and the
don't have
first
that.
Archon, and then
Yeah.
Kneecap.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right. So athletics, but with guidance.
the power of Vulcan. Even with the
Okay.
guidance, that won't
Oh.
help.
So that's a
Strike
that's a
one.
12. So strike 1.
The power of Vulcan. Natural one.
I think you lose your grip on the bat and it like sails across, and then so the righteous hands are all in the dugout going, "Good effort, man! Good effort! You got your eye on this one. We know we believe in you." And then everyone else on the Noxious Stampede is jeering you.
And the power of Vulcan. No,
No,
I
it's at
strike out.
13. So
Okay.
that's two outs.
That's choice.
Hmm.
Now Sariel is next up to bat.
I'm going to guide him for his one pitch anyway.
I was thinking Sariel is a she, but I guess I didn't
She,
really
him,
clarify.
them.
They.
Yeah, I think they applies. So yeah, they're gonna.
Is
get up
that the
there.
diva?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So. Oh, look at that. They didn't even need the guidance, but let's go ahead and roll the d4 anyway, because it's fun.
See how high the number goes.
That's just a 1, but that's still a 21 to hit, so they are, it's in the air. This
All
all
right, I
comes
think-
down to this catch, because if it's
Yep.
3 outs if they're out, but it's a point scored otherwise.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to have a go with the demon because if I can't make another
Yeah.
roll,
Mm-hmm.
then it's gonna have to be the demon.
Yep.
Because is this acrobatics
It's acrobatics to catch. Yeah.
to catch? I can try it.
Okay, I rolled 1, but I'll let you go first, because it's really your decision. I just jumped the gun.
Okay. All right. I will go because I've got guidance on myself and I have my past life experience. So
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
Sure.
so that works. So that's a 12, or I'm sorry, 17 plus
Okay.
oh, come on. Space, my power Vulcan.
4. Makes it an 18.
Hold
Uh-huh.
on, not done yet.
And then a D6. Oh my god, 2 rolls. That's
Oh!
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So that
Oh.
means I think that is one of those things where it is so close. Like you are racing along, you jump to catch it, and I think it just tips the end of your glove, but goes down. And so that is a point scored for the righteous hands. That is Sariel is on base 1.
kneecap is on 2.
Correct. And then the first Archon scored. So we'll go ahead and play it out to see what the score
'cause
is. Yeah.
Unlike Little League, you keep playing even when it's decided. You keep playing
Yeah.
for the stats.
Right.
No, it's true.
Yeah. And so
Goal
that
says yes, that's correct. So it is next. Let's see. That was Sariel. It's another one of the Archons.
Yep,
next.
I will guide them.
Okay.
But the power of Vulcan will lend strength to your athletics to your bat.
All right. All right. They that's a 23. So yep, they're on base again now. I think that the Maleficents, now that the game seems like it's going to be decided, you know what? I think they could go either way, because they're demons. They don't necessarily care about stats, and they're kind of pissed off now. So I want to get some of the other players on that team, giving them a little pep talk one way or the other. How hard are they still trying?
Oh, for our team?
Yeah,
Um,
because
You guys, okay? Spine is not a scholar of the Outer Planes, but I've got an angle if you want to go with it, Jason.
sure. I do very. If you've got better personality than me,
You know, the demons get killed over and over and over again in the blood war with the devils, and they just keep on coming back and going back into the fight again because that's what they are.
Yeah.
Giving up is not part of it.
all right. So I think you sense as this was getting ready to this next pitch. Who's making who's making an argument to try to rev them up so they don't give up?
I mean, I am not persuasive. I'll try, but I have a -1.
All right. Well, if it comes to that, then I'll go. I'll make the speech.
Yeah, you try.
And
Guidance.
all right. See, we could have used that guidance before, but
Coulda, yeah. Wow. Okay.
so just a 10.
I think that they all look at you and just say, "I thought you all were supposed to help us instead of sucking like you did." So let's see if they catch. They do not. They get a 2. uh,
No score.
so
Kneecap
that
comes
is
home.
so kneecap scores.
Yes.
Sariel on base 2, and then that's a base 1. All right. The next batter up.
Another Hound Outcon.
Yes. That one's only an 11 to hit, so I think even guidance isn't going to
Guidance
do it.
won't help. No.
But that's just strike 1. Strike 2 is a 21.
Ah!
So they're up and
Yep.
yeah.
Have a demon catch.
Have a
Mhm.
demon-
And then they actually are really bad at dexterity.
they're much better on the offense than the
Yeah,
defense.
so that's only a 10. Yeah.
That's another score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the question. I think mechanically right now. Well, okay, I take it back. It is a matter of when we get around to get to letting the players do it, because it's increasingly clear these Maleficents are
terrible
discouraged
fielders.
and bad at fielding, and they are much better at hitting, but you lot gave them a couple of outs and they didn't get to do very much hitting. That's right. So in any case, that's another score. So that's 3 for the righteous hands, right? Yeah.
On the third day. Yay! Righteous.
How many of the demons have fielded so far?
I think we've
it's
done
been like 4.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so there's 9 players in a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's only
two
2
more
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 more demons.
There's 2 left before I can field.
Right. And then
Right,
yeah,
okay.
and then it's only one out left needed.
Right.
All right.
So at the very worst, we'll
Mhm.
get 2 more before I can stop.
All right. So the next Hound Archon. That first roll, there's an 18, so roll the d4 for guidance.
I will roll the d4 for guidance.
That's not enough. Just strike 1 though.
That's right, but yeah,
the next
guidance
one's
was-
only a 10.
Okay,
he might
okay.
strike out.
Come on,
He might
strike
strike
out.
But then it's a critical,
Oh!
which means a home run, which means 3 more points. But now
3 more.
no one on base.
Oof. Naturally.
Yeah.
Ah,
Wow.
All right. So, that was, gosh, my attempt to try to keep track of this was poor. So hang on, I'm trying to. That was 1. Okay. Yeah, I have lost track of how many.
We've had
Arc-
5 archons
and the
yeah?
icons
yeah.
plus the diva plus Uska.
Okay, so that means that we are now back at the top
The-
of the batting order.
Right.
Right. We're it Cora's at the top of the batting order.
Yes. All right, Cora. And I believe you would still have advantage. The enhance ability lasts an
Yeah.
hour, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Athletics.
Hmm.
13 high.
That's not good enough.
Oh, that's a good
Strike
enough.
1.
All right. All right. Told to do this with advantage. Roll. There we go. Strike 2.
Okay. 1 more.
I told. 16 high.
Now,
Well,
you could roll a
did
4
you have
on
the
the
guidance?
D4.
Yeah.
Well, the
Oh.
guides would only replied on.
Oh yeah,
the-
yeah.
Yeah, one replied on the
Yeah.
first one, so no, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to guide.
All right.
Or-
So
No, so-
unfortunately, that is an out.
I'm
so,
out.
but that means the righteous hands are victorious,
5
with a
points.
score of 6 actually.
6
Yeah.
to 0.
6-0.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, as the righteous hands win, the they're all celebrating. They're putting the three of you up on their shoulders, and then they go line up to go shake hands with the Noxious Stampede. The Noxious Stampede utterly refuses to do that. They start throwing dirt clods at the righteous hands, and then stomp off into the tall grass. But the three of you that I think that helped the Noxious Stampede get dust kicked on them,
Oh,
and then you are left behind. But then the righteous hands turn to Cora, Kneecap, and Tarsus and say, for your goodwill, your bravery, and your good sportsmanship, participating in this ritual, we would like to gift you this. And it's a prismatic chalice. This has
Wow.
come straight from Mount Celestia. And it functions as a gem of brightness, which is a magic item that you can, it has 50 charges. You can use the charges to either make it shed bright light in a 30-foot radius, or one charge to cause it to do a brilliant beam of light that could potentially blind a creature for 1 minute. And then you can also do 5 charges at once to cause it to flare with blinding light in a 30-foot cone. So, but it is shaped as a prismatic chalice from Mount
Okay.
Celestia. So
Awesome.
someone should take that. And
If you two don't mind, I think this is more suited to me than to either of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there is now Goal presents to them an ornate little chest, opens it up, and there's sort of a glowing orb in there. And as the righteous hands lift it up and hold it up, you see a sort of a wispy spectral figure sigh with contentment and fade away.
Aw.
Is
Yay!
it recognizable at all?
No.
Okay.
And then it's barely even a
Okay.
shape
Wow.
at all. But and then I think there is just a brief moment of the Deva as they are themselves walking off into the tall grass. There's a glance over at the three of you that join the other side with kind of just
Before
just a raised eyebrow, like,
Give him a
Before the
wink and a
diva-
thumbs up.
before the diva walks off, Kneecap is gonna just scurry up and say, "Do you know what lineage that soul came from? Or they know?"
We are not permitted to know anything about the identity of the soul. It is part of the ritual that it must be an anonymous soul, otherwise it might affect our play.
Not even after it's won?
I imagined that the god that has claimed them would know, but I do not, I'm afraid.
Okay. I'm looking for my sister, so that
They pause for a moment and then kneel down to you and just say, that is a quest that I believe you will find very difficult, which is not to say that it is not a worthy one. I wish you luck.
thank you.
You may want to consider following threads that have some connection to you, rather than simply asking about every specific individual you meet. This is meant as friendly advice, not derision. I hope you understand.
Okay. And he is obviously giving it some thought.
There are countless souls in the Outlands, and it will take you a very long time to ask each one individually.
I see. Okay.
I wish you luck. And then they walk off into the tall grass, and then like all of you from behind you hear a whispered voice saying, "If you build it, they will come."
It will come.
Yeah, and then you turn, and it's just Goal standing there. Thanks for playing.
See you in 300 years, maybe?
Sure, hey, you're welcome back. That is when the next
Is it
game is
always
scheduled.
here?
Well, in a manner of speaking, like
Geography being,
it's always
Well-
here, as in on the field,
but where's
and the
field?
field is where the field is, and so I guess from any sort of an objective standpoint, it's not here, but it is here for me because I exist where the field does. Does that help?
No. I understand. Maybe we'll see each other again. Maybe not. It has been a pleasure.
It will be here on the field, wherever the field is.
In 300 years.
Yes.
Roger. Until then.
Assuming the Outlands don't blow up or something.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Decaf has flashbacks to that. Well,
Yeah, I just noticed that on the main map,
hmm
there's crumbly edges.
Oh yeah. Oh, the
well,
artist may be
isn't that
suggesting
kind of
something.
almost kind of the nature of the Outlands?
It is kind of because
yeah.
the land is kind of constantly being absorbed into or spat out of the outer plains.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that it is a fun interpretation of that map detail, though. So in any case, though, you are all able to continue on then, and you before too long, just as the sun is setting. I forget. It is not actually a traditional sun. It just gets kind of brighter and dimmer here. There's no
Right.
sun,
Yeah.
as I recall. But
So
it's starting to get
as we're
dusk.
walking away, and
Mhm.
we've talked, the players and Goal are no longer in earshot. Spine saunters up next to Tarsus
Mhm.
and just says,
Hi.
"You're welcome."
I'm welcome for what, Spine?
Sabotaging the devils, the demons.
He stops, and then he does the Warforged equivalent of a smile, which is kind of hard, but I'll try it anyway.
I mean, if Johnny Five can smile, Warforged.
Yeah.
Tarsus alive. No.
Tarsus, make an insight check.
Yeah, I'm kind
Yeah.
of guessing he's blowing smoke at. Spine's blowing smoke at me, but let's see if Tarsus can figure that out. Insight check.
This
No.
is actually not for Spine.
Oh,
But,
something else.
Well, I'll just go ahead and basically say you don't necessarily know how true that is what Spine just said. If you have reason to doubt it, you have no evidence to help you either way. But I think you suspect that if the righteous hand were to be aware at all that there was sabotage happening, they would disapprove and forfeit the game.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's why I waited.
But in any case, just as the sky is starting to get dark, you see silhouetted against the horizon the familiar by now outline of your walking castle.
Oh, good. It's still here.
Yes, and once
Not
you
infested by crones.
well, you aren't there yet, but But
Hey,
the
at least
walking
it's not
castle
painted pink the
does,
way mine was.
does, when it sees you lower down into the position, it will allow you to climb aboard. And, Thafir and Rini, the time dragon wormling,
Right.
greet you um, with joy. And Rini just says, "How did it go in there? Did you get what you needed?"
We did.
Yep.
I kind of wanted to see it, but it seems like kind of a scary place.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I haven't actually met the time dragon. I wasn't there for that episode. That's
Well,
right.
You have kind of a hazy memory of
Hazy
hey, wait a
memory.
minute.
Carlos is just gonna roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody want to explain to our clanky friend here what happened?
Thank you, Fred.
Well, big time
Well,
dragon. Big time
Go.
dragon saw earlier. Saw before. This her. Went small.
so we have a time.
Eloquent
is
Well,
as
what-
usual.
that's what they tell me.
Yeah, we met the future you, who was pretty impressive, and the future you told us that you met us long ago when we were powerful, and now it makes sense because we are pretty powerful now. Anyway, I'm pleased to meet you, although I've probably met you before, or we'll meet you again. It's a paradox.
Yes.
Now, I suppose in 300 years you'll be able to explain it to me better than I can explain it to you. That's fine. As you can see, I point at Spine, Malleus, and Cora. We've had a bit of a shuffling of things ourselves, as is our nature. But you know that about us, or will know about us.
Now you know that about us.
We explained.
We,
We explained
Yep.
story.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I understood everything you just said, but I kind of like the sound of it. There is a handout that you should have, Paul, for Time Dragon Wormling.
oh, thank you. Look at the.
She's got sort of white and blue, sort of iridescent scales.
Oh yeah,
She's about the
lovely.
size of a large dog right now.
She'll grow into it.
She says, "So, Thafir says you have just one more gate town to go to, and it's Automata.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can I come with you to that one?"
Sure.
Anyone, yeah, if you want to
Considerably
come with
safer.
us into the gate town itself, yeah.
Well, I just, since I'm away from home and everything, I didn't want to be when I was kidnapped and it was scary and going to scary places, but I feel like I would be safe with you guys and I'd like to see more of the Outlands before I go home.
Yeah.
Automata should be considerably safer than Regus was.
Should be.
Should
We've
be.
seen some dangerous stuff even in good
We see
alliances.
yes, in the
Yeah.
nicest of towns. But
Mhm.
we will keep you safe to the best of our ability,
Okay.
which is pretty good at this stage.
All right. Well, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Automata?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
We
like
saved it. We saved it for you.
And it is the last one on your list. So once you finish that, you should have the complete data set that your Mimir needs.
Yep.
So I assume that is where you set your target, your next course?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right.
affirmative.
So certainly you can go ahead and get another long rest while you're traveling. And let's pull up Automata. So are you doing your research? Yeah?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Um,
So who's doing research now that you have?
Is it history or arcana?
Investigation.
It's investigation.
Oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
investigation. My investigation is a 6.
I got a +8.
Oh, then I will defer to you. I can give you help though.
Okay.
Or is that a thing in the new player's handbook?
You should be able to-
What, helping?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
that was in in before, though. I mean that.
Right, I don't know if that
yeah.
the rules have changed with the new PHP. Right,
Yeah.
so then I will assist Radius in the
Mhm.
research of Automata.
Okay. All right.
There we
So
go. 26.
26 is pretty good. So I'm gonna go over some stuff, but I also am gonna go ahead and just share this this whole handout related to automata. Um, I just
Tomato?
did it and then it closed on me.
Let's call the whole thing off.
No, we are not. Quite to the contrary.
So there is actually a fun. Oh man, come on. It's doing that thing where, like, sometimes if I open it in a separate little window and then close it, it won't let me reopen it, which is annoying. That's okay. I'm just going to have to do a thing here. Okay. I'm going to have to pull it up separately. There is a fun little piece of artwork in there that's a train station location that you're all going to get to visit here. Where is... Okay.
Junction, what's your function?
Where is my... I'm trying to find where they put it in the in D&D Beyond, because I was going to open it there because it wouldn't let me open it in D&D Beyond without reloading it, and I don't want to do that because it'll mess everything else up. But there we go. So in Automata, you know that its primary citizens are in fact Modrons, and you've met some Modrons before, but they are sort of biomechanical creatures of many different varieties. The simplest ones, monodrons, are basically big, just spherical. They're Mike Wazowski's basically if he was half robot. You got one great big spherical head with a giant eye, and known for being able to do one thing at a time. And then they get more complicated than that. There's duodrone drones, tridrones, and so on, and they keep going up. There's very big ones and much smarter ones, but then there's also a lot of really simple ones. It is ruled by the Council of Order. It has a very rigid and well laid out geography. Everything is laid out with mathematical precision, right angled, nearly identical establishments. And despite this layout, it is actually very difficult sometimes for non-natives to navigate because everything looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the intuitive, in finger quotes, grid of numbered streets, usually the guidance you have here says that it might be confusing, but the residents generally are friendly and willing to give you directions and that are helpful. So it is overseen by the Council of Order, which is a triumvirate of officials. And there are, individuals there. It talks about the gate itself is in fact at the train station, which is at the end of Modron Way, a wide spire-facing road paved with shimmering metal plates. And it is around the opposite side of the gate is Concord Terminus, an interplanar train station. So basically, to use the portal to Automata, you must be cleared for your presence there. Like you need permission to go there. And then so that is kind of sort of this initial information that you get. So that this place is runs on like rigid rules and laws and bureaucracy. It is connected to Mechanus, which is the plane of lawful neutral, basically. So, as you are making your way into town, Um, you are all traveling out, I imagine, and bringing Rini with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
She is flying, and she's sort of circling up around and going ahead just a little bit, but not going too far. Like she's staying
Yeah.
pretty close, but she's clearly excited, flying around. So as you start approaching, you see rigid beings moving purposefully through Automata's perfect street grid. Most travel in sync with the reverberating rhythm of the great toothed gear that rises like an arch at the gate town's center. As you near the community, your Mimir rattles energetically, and the glow in its eye sockets pulses in time to the pervasive ticking. And literally, you see a bunch of Madrons as they are walking in orderly lines down the streets and turning at right angles on the intersections. They're literally stepping in time with this pulse. Dun, 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 dun.
Mhm.
Okay.
My engineer heart is going to say they're going to set up some harmonic resonance somewhere and knock down a building.
They would have compensated for that.
Mhm.
Theoretically.
Their city infrastructure is designed with all of this in mind.
Yeah.
I
But if
would
they're
hope.
too perfect, they'll get sucked into Mechanus. So they're not perfect. They can't
Yeah.
be.
But the thing that comes to my mind with Automata is it's the law.
Yeah.
Not just a
Yes.
good idea, it's the law.
Well, and my Tuesday night campaign 1 had some Modron encounters that the
Yes.
Modrons were
Mm-hmm.
very focused on what the law was. So in this case, though, you find that this is a city very much going about its business. You're not getting any particular strange looks or anything, but yes, you are seeing a whole lot of rows and rows of nearly identical looking buildings, signs that are like street signs and everything that are just numbers, meaning like the street sign for on one corner of a building says 78347, and then the other one says 2834.
Right. So just because they're numbered doesn't mean they're in any kind of order that we recognize.
It's very
Yeah.
simple.
Kneecap is looking around with total confusion.
Mm-hmm. Now, what you do know, at least, though, is that the big train station where the gate is at part of that great big gear in the center of town. So that's relatively easy to self-navigate to if that's where you're trying to
Right.
go.
I
Yeah.
don't see any reason to faff about.
Right.
And
Let's go.
Spine seems fairly subdued, but also purposeful. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Rini is kind of excited, but seems to be overwhelmed a little bit and staying a little closer to you and kind of just looking around at everything with wide eyes, just saying, "This place is so strange."
All the gig towns are strange in their own way.
Yeah. For us too.
Yep.
This one is extremely different
Hmm.
from all of the others.
So as you're
Well, at least we're not imprisoned
Mm.
in a military camp, getting chased by brigands,
Yet.
fighting sea serpents. Am I missing? I'm probably
No.
missing a few.
The fighting sea serpents was fun. What are you talking about?
Well, you won.
Guiding Empyreans?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So, making your way towards the giant gear, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, certainly you are able to make your way there, and I think you initially come across like a big, tall, like fence with spiky tops to it that is clearly a like, well, you can't get there this way. And so you're having to kind of navigate around kind of a perimeter to find where the actual entrance to this place is. And you do, and it is a large, obvious gate. And through it, you see a forest of stanchions creates a mile-long path to the great mechanized gate at Automata's center. Hundreds of travelers stand in queue seeking to pass through the gate to Mechanus. Amid the line, Modron overseers orchestrate the orderly, sluggish procession to the gate.
I think it's
There's
unlikely we're
gotta
gonna.
be a way to jump this line. There's always a way to jump the line.
Are you certain, friend Spine? I'm not certain this is the place to
There's-
test that theory.
There's always a way.
I think if everybody takes a place in line, Kneecap is gonna kind of just walk up next to the line, and just take it, see what's going on further up towards the front.
Okay. I think as soon as you are moving more towards the front, some of these Modron overseers. In fact, let's see. There's a pentadrone that approaches. Let me give you the. Is there a handout? Which ones do they have handouts for? They don't. So the pentadrone is. I don't have a handout for it, I guess. But it is, they are large and they have like a big sort of central body with 5 sort of, it's almost like a starfish that walks around on little spindly legs. And each of the arms of the starfish has its own face. And it is large, meaning like bigger than you, like bigger than medium, right? And as you are kind of moving alongside the line up towards the front, one of them starts kind of stomping over towards you, and one of the faces sort of leans down to you and says, "You must enter the line at the beginning of the line, sir."
Meet skeleton crew, and Kneecap needs talk with authority.
It turns around, and one of the other faces says, "You may not pass this way to do any of those things. If you wish to enter the line, you must do so at the beginning of the line." And then it turns again, and another one of the arms says, "If you wish to speak to an official, you must do that at the town hall, not at the line."
Where is the town hall?
Right, town hall.
This unit is not authorized for directions. Please return to the beginning of the line.
Oh.
Slump and go back.
Mm-hmm. All right.
No authority here.
Yeah. Well, no one that's going to talk to you. That's not that's not what the rules are.
Yeah, that's how Kneecap interpreted it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Nico town hall.
Do we want someone to sit in the line in case whatever the town hall comes up with is too onerous?
I have absolutely no charisma whatsoever. I will stay in the line.
Yeah.
If you're in the line, stay in the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, anyone who like to can try to make some sort of a check to sort of get a sense of how long this line might actually be.
Yeah.
The very short version is long.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what sort of check would we look at? You're looking at
Investigation.
Somebody
I'll give it a shot.
Oh, I was gonna say somebody hold Kneecap uphill. See if you can get a better look.
Well,
Natural
just
20.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let's see. You with a natural 20 and your mind that seems to be keying into some of the rhythms of this town are able to watch the very slow movement of the line and the approximate length, and conclude that it will take approximately 17 hours to get to the front of the line.
Well, that's not so bad.
Yeah. I'll hold a place for us.
Is that allowed in the rules, or do we all have to be waiting?
We only need one person to attune the gem.
That's true. Here. And I'll hand you the mimir.
Mimir. No, Mimir, yes.
Okay. All right.
Because this looks really boring.
Yeah. I'm not exactly. Well, while I'm waiting in this line, can I attune to the mimir?
Yeah,
I don't think it was even an attunement thing, was it?
I think it is,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
but
you'll have plenty of time to
I don't
attune.
recall. But yes, that's not a problem.
So,
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Hmm.
But yeah,
Read.
the idea being the
Yeah.
idea of it of
Well,
any of
you
the
don't
side
know
making it.
whether or not Malleus has a porn collection in his backpack.
True.
Githyanki porn. That's going to be an interesting collection.
So
Yeah.
I
Going
said
any number of
I
ways.
said town hall retcon that he said the Gate Travel Administration. That's what he said.
Okay, Gate Travel Administration. That's where we're going.
Mhm.
Does there seem to be someone that looks like they can give us directions and not just tell us to get at the end of the line?
Well, those pentadrones are clearly guards whose job it is to make the line be orderly, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
they are, fussing around. But there's lots of other Modrons around. Like you have like this was all you trying to enter what is clearly the secured area, right?
Yeah.
So if you leave that secured area, there's plenty of people just passing around.
I will ask someone if there's like any shops, like Smiths or shops or anything like that in the area, because I don't necessarily know if they would need them being Modrons.
So you just hail a passing Modron.
Yes.
So you start to ask, are there any Smiths?
Yeah,
And they
shops.
start to answer, and then as soon as you say shops, they just get this like glassy eyed expression on their face.
Bodron or on a drone.
Well,
Yeah, you I think you can kind of realize he can only hold one thought in his head at a time. So you need to not ask 3 questions at once.
oh. Are there any shops nearby?
Yes.
Can you show us where? Show me where.
I can but may not. I am tasked with another order.
Oh, well, can you just point us in the direction?
He gets glassy eyed again because you're both talking at once.
Can you just point us in the direction?
He thinks for a moment, then takes his fingers and goes like this. He's pointing in like 7 different directions.
See if we can find a Modron that's not doing something currently.
Do you wish for directions?
Yes.
Which of the shops do you want?
Oh,
You simply asked for shops. What do you wish to purchase?
trying to see if you have a shop about the arcane.
Yes. Go 3 blocks and then take 1 right and then move 2 blocks and then take a left and then move 2 blocks and then make 3 rights and then take 2 more blocks and then go up the stairs and take 2 lefts and then 1 more block and then it will be there at that archway.
You see, Radius looks at his spell book and is just like, "Did you catch all that?"
It's like, what?
Right. He opens the book and pulls out his magical quill. And he's like, "Could you say that one more time?" And I sit down.
He repeats what I said before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Thank you." And he's like, "Since this is going to be a 17-hour line, I would like to go check out this shop. I have some concerns." And he'll tell that to the rest of you all.
A good Gate Travel Authority?
Yes, we're going to go to the Gate Travel Authority. The rest of us, anyway.
Are you still trying to talk to this Modron?
Oh no, I told the Modron thank
Okay.
you.
All right. I was yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So is Malleus just, or Radius rather, just leaving, and the rest of the group is
Yeah,
staying
if
together?
any of you
Or
don't
all right.
if any of you don't want to go, that's fine. I don't intend to get in trouble.
Intend.
Intend.
Yeah.
Listen,
We-
I've got a lot of gold and some stuff to use.
All right.
So you know, just
Yeah.
I'm trying to play cool because there's a lot of law here.
Mm-hmm.
And there is.
Kneecap is it's kind of duo or monodrone in a task
Mhm.
right
So okay, so it sounds like Radius is walking off to follow those directions, and either people are following or not.
I'm following.
Okay.
I'm going with the rest of the group. Not to,
Okay. So that what remains is just Tarsus and Kneecap.
all right. So what do we want to do?
Gate Travel Authority.
Gate of I thought that I might be
All
a
right.
little.
So I'll be going there.
Yes, that I thought was the plan, but
Yeah.
That's the line, right?
our
Mhm.
magician and our rogue has different ideas. But
Mhm.
I propose we try to find the Gate Travel Authority and find at least what we have to do to short circuit the line. And see if it's practical. I mean, it may be the simplest option is to have poor Malleus stand there in a line for 17 hours, which is cruel and unfair to Malleus.
Yeah.
And
We
we'll
should
have to
probably.
make it to afterwards, but we should at least find out what we're up against.
Yeah.
Create a bypass through standard procedure, not short circuit the law.
I don't think it's a bypass. I think the actual is alternate controls of production. So let's go.
Probably.
Let's see if we can find this place. So so I'm going to try to ask directions and try to get
Sure.
a beat on where this authority
Yeah,
is.
I think you stop if you stop another Modron, you get similar, like very sort of specific, precise instructions that are you basically just have to like follow like exactly what they said. You know, they might as well be telling you to like take 400 steps in this direction and then and then
God.
rotate 90 degrees, etc. And so, but that said, it's seems clear that they know what they're talking about. So let's go ahead and follow that group first, going to the Gate Travel Administration.
Okay.
So let's see. You are passing through a lot of these streets. I think Rini is coming with you.
Okay.
And making your way through all of this, and then you find there's a great big sort of brutalist style block that is a big notable building, and it as you enter, it is if you imagine an infinite bank lobby.
Oh no.
It is just got endless sort of windows and lines and little desks and forms and stacks of papers, and there's like 15 different lines that people seem to be standing in that have like hundreds of individuals in them and everything. And so there is a quadrone, which I believe is the square, the cube-shaped one with wings, is hovering nearby the entrance and just says, "What is your purpose visiting the Gate Travel Administration?"
We would like to know the procedure for bypassing the normal queue to approach the gate. If such a procedure exists. Rather than standing in the line.
They look scared. You wish to bypass the normal procedure.
I wish to inquire if there are alternate methods of reaching the gate other than the queue. And what is required to access those alternate methods of reaching the gate besides the queue.
The procedure for accessing the gate is to request a gate access permit and then stand in the queue.
Are there no other circumstances where a different set of procedures is
Those
considered
procedures may only be superseded with the authority of the Council of Order.
so the council of order has the only authority to supersede the gate procedure?
That is correct.
How does one speak to the council of order?
Uh,
What is the procedure for obtaining an audience with the council of order?
they point at another queue that has hundreds of people in it and says, in that line, you may request an appointment with the Council of Order.
I guarantee it's been longer than 17 hours before you get your appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, wait. So they said we needed a permit, then get into the line that Malleus is already in. So we need to get a permit.
So if you so to be clarified, if you just join the line, that is not permitted. You
Sufficient.
have to get a permit before you enter the line.
It is permitted to enter the line without a gate access permit, but when you reach the front of the line, you will not be able to access the gate, and you will need to start over with a gate access permit.
Okay. Where can one obtain a gate access permit? Then let's go
Yeah.
back to first principles. Thank you, Cole.
So they let's see.
Paperwork.
And they point to another line and they say, that is the line to request access to the forms that you will fill out in order to receive a gate access permit.
Okay, so that's to request the forms to request the permit. Okay, so that is our next step.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go take the forms and get into another line to actually make the permit request.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The player of Tarsus has played this game in Infocom. It's called bureaucracy.
Yeah. The player of Quora worked briefly for the New York State government in various forms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So we need forms for the forms. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will thank the Quadrone.
As people start walking away, Kneecap will stay behind, look at the Quadrone, and say, "Do you know what happened to the Great Modron March?"
They look to you and just say, the Great Modron March has passed through Automata and has not yet returned.
We wish to find out what happened to it. We were told it disappeared.
I have no response to that.
If anybody wishes to assist us with that, let us know.
You may stand in that queue over there to request an appointment with the Council of Order.
Kneecap will
go
to follow the rest of the trio.
All right. So it becomes.
This is why I joined the interesting party.
Yeah, that's why you joined.
So I will say basically once again that if what you are attempting to do right now is to start the process of requesting a gate access form.
Yep.
It is going to take some time. It is a very
Tarsus
line.
is willing.
Yeah.
Yep. Tarsus is willing to do this.
Okay.
Tarsus will turn to Cora and Kneecap. This will be a boring, laborious, long process. The two of you and Remy may wish to Remy, thank you. Remy.
That's okay.
Remy. Sorry, Remy. may wish to may well wish to do something much more interesting. I'm going to play this by the rules. I think the two of you, as well as the rest of our companions, are more suited to breaking the rules than I am.
I think that there's a Modron standing just close enough to overhear that and just gasps like.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphorical rhetorical device. Good creature. I do not mean it in a literal sense.
they take a side step to just be a little bit further away from you.
Wow. Anyway,
How
you,
tall is this room?
So I think that it is a distressingly low ceiling for how big the room is otherwise, because it is just like it's like 3 football fields long, wide. It's this endless sort of just open flat plane of labyrinth of velvet
But
ropes to stand in line, and little cages where like window tellers are, and stacks of forms and everything. But I think the ceiling is still only like maybe 9 feet high.
yeah. Oh, I was thinking it's like maybe Reedy could fly with kneecap up to
Mhm.
get a view of stuff.
Yeah. So I think then that if Tarsus is settling in for the long haul, that's going to be a little while. Is
yep.
is
Yes,
everyone else
that's his plan.
going to do something else?
I think I'm going to keep Malleus company so that, like, because it might be boring just being by themselves. And
Well, for that matter, you've also been told that standing in line doesn't even do anything if you don't
yeah,
have the gate access form.
Right.
okay, yeah. So
Somebody
I
does
mean,
need to head back and tell them that
yeah,
that's.
because the thing is, if he is far enough up in line, you won't actually even be able to get up to him
right,
to hand him the form if you get it.
right. So I'll go get Malleus back.
I think Kneecap would like to take Reedy and say, "Hey, maybe we can find someone with more authority."
Oh no. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh yes. Oh no.
What does that sounds like adventure?
Yeah, fine. And hmm, what's the what's the biggest Modron in sight?
Um, well, let's see. There's probably um, see some of these. There, I think that you see walking through. I wish to, you know what? So some of these I'm gonna have to just do. I'm gonna have to share with you like the whole image of them, and I'll just have to. Oh, see, weird. Some of them have handouts. So I'm gonna sharing a handout with you for a Decaton Modron, which is big, also like large sized, and so I'm sharing it
Wow.
now, and it's so it's spherical, kind of like a monodrone, but big and multiple eyes, and has 8 like little tentacles around back. It has like 10 like manipulating limbs, and then 2 feet. And
The illustration has 9 plus 2, 3.
well, I don't know. I didn't count. So
It has
1, 2, 3.
many tentacles.
Yes. Wait,
No, there's 10.
you're right. I was not counting the one that was not in that did not break out of the silhouette. That
Yeah.
was it.
So yes, in any case, there is one of those is sort of the biggest one that seems to be in this area, and they are carrying stacks of pages, several different, stacks of paper forms in the various tentacles as they are moving through this office space.
I mean, Kneecap is gonna just walk right up to it,
Mhm.
and probably actually a little bit of a run because it's a big
Okay.
creature. Like, hello.
And it kind of I think actually it's just walking by, and it just says hello.
Do you know anything about the Great Motron March?
And they stop walking, and then kind of like turn and look way down at you, and Reni's there too, and kind of just says hi, and he just says, the Great Modron March is when the Modrons of Mechanus traveled the Outlands to recalibrate reality.
What happens when they don't when they don't return.
They will return.
But they have disappeared.
They have traveled the Outlands. They have not yet returned.
Nobody knows where they are. Nobody in the Outlands knows where they are.
I suspect that is not true.
We are trying to find them.
Logically, it is extremely unlikely that nobody in the entire Outlands knows where they are.
Nobody we are aware of knows where they are.
I am not
And-
responsible for the limits of your ignorance.
Does your council know where they are?
I am not on the Council of Order.
Do you know who is?
Yes,
Can you inform them that the skeleton crew wishes to speak about the Great Modron March to them?
that line over there is for requesting an appointment with the Council of Order.
What would happen if one tries to cut the line?
I think all of a sudden the couple of tentacles that are not literally carrying stacks of paper sort of twitch and seem to be in a slightly more like weapon-like posture. And they say,
Uh-oh.
we would need to execute a security response.
Understood.
Are you done then?
Maybe.
It starts walking away.
I think Kneecap would like to just walk
Alright.
in front, try and purposely be slightly off the rhythm.
It is definitely walking on the rhythm. Make a performance check to walk without rhythm.
And you won't detract the fun.
5.
Yeah.
5. Yeah. I think that you find that it's actually really hard to do that. You just sort of very naturally, like, everything about this place is so on the rhythm that it's just like, it actually, you kind of keep trying to break the rhythm and it's harder than you think. And after a certain point, the decaton is reached a little gate that they pass through. This is the little half waist high wooden saloon door style gate. But they pass through it and then turn around and point with one of these little tentacles to a sign that says authorized personnel only.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
What you need is a rogue.
And they proceed off into that authorized personnel area carrying their stacks of paper.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Go find a rogue, Kneecap.
Yeah. In the meantime,
Now
Now
let's
I have
follow-
an idea.
Yeah. So we've got Radius and Spine off to find a magic shop. So I think that as you are making your way, following the directions of the monodrone that found you, you do eventually reach a building that looks much like the others from the outside. And there is one little plaque that it has a sign on it that just calls it nuts and bolts, but clearly there has been someone has etched into the metal magic above nuts.
Well,
This is promising.
yeah, seems like we found the place. Let's go see.
As you enter, I'm hearing an echo of myself now for some reason. Okay, it stopped. Yeah, so if any of you have ever seen one of those like Eastern medicine stores where you go in and all the walls are like filled with these wooden drawers that
Mhm.
presumably each have like different herbs or whatever in them. It looks kind of like that. So you don't really see any magic items on display. What you see is just like a very orderly sort of shop front where it's clear that there are lots of different containers that could have things pulled out of them, but nothing on display.
Right.
And there is sitting behind the counter a tiefling in an impeccable, like like it's it's a very nice dark suit with like a flashy sort of yellow vest that you can only see just a little bit of it, like the dark suit, dark tie, and then just a little bit of a really flashy like yellow golden vest underneath. And they just look up and just say, "Well, newcomers, I hope you didn't have any trouble finding the place."
Not really, no. Everybody had really good directions.
Good. I'm glad. You have come to the finest purveyor of magical accoutrement to be found in Automata, which, admittedly, there's not a lot of competition. Many magical purveyors find it difficult to work within the confines of Automata rules. That is, unless you have gone to the inverse.
Universe.
You're not familiar with the inverse.
No, we travel a lot, but we've never been here before.
You are probably familiar with the concept that the gate towns adjoin to the outer planes but are not absorbed because there is typically something about them that makes them not quite a perfect fit.
Yes.
Well, in Automata, as you see, most of the city is very much in line with what Mechanus would like. But the reason it is not pulled in is because underneath it contains the inverse. It is a region of the
this-
city that is diametrically opposed, shall we say.
This sounds like fun. I'm glad I chose coming with you.
So, in the inverse,
Hmm.
can you get to the inverse, or is it more metaphysical than actually real?
Oh no, it's an actual place. You just walk there.
Oh,
It is underground. You need to find an access point, but it is physical.
dangerous?
Can be. Chaotic, certainly.
Hmm.
You may find, in fact, that not even gravity is the same.
Ah, that sounds like fun.
Yes.
Well,
Never-
it depends on what you find fun. There are many citizens of Automata who are horrified by the very concept.
Irenas is like, so you wouldn't happen to know of anyone or yourself be versed in the side effects of traveling through the gates?
How do you mean?
Well, I am a learned individual, and I am very well learned in the arcane. But for some reason, I have yet to gain my full catalog of arcane knowledge, and recently I have lost more than what I had forgotten already.
Hmm.
Honestly, I don't feel as strong as I was, and I feel like I'm a potential liability for my teammates.
Hmm. Do you suspect a curse of some kind?
Well, honestly, we don't know. Um,
Well, I am not a metaphysician by training, but I can identify any spells which may be afflicting you right now, and I do have some knowledge of curses. I could examine you.
Sure. How much would that cost?
I think something in the order of 25 gold for a rudimentary examination. Of course, if we identify something that requires additional treatment, that would need to be discussed at that time.
Okay, that's fine. And he will pay the
Okay.
25 gold.
I will just go ahead and delicately inquire that your apparent pseudo undead nature is not what you are referring to.
No.
Very well, I
I
understand.
remember how I kind of sort of got to this state. It's it's everything else around it that's become difficult to remember.
Yes. All right. Looking over at like, what are you doing, Spine, while this is happening?
I'm listening, actually. This is
Okay.
fascinating.
All
But also, just kind of looking around and seeing if there's just like everything seems quite orderly here with all the
Yeah,
drawers.
unlike a lot
and
of
everything.
shops, there's not a lot of like to see with. I mean,
Yeah,
everything's kind of
but
put away.
Are the labels like just numbers, or do they actually have like meaningful
They don't seem
names
to
on
have
them?
any obvious labels at all.
Oh, at all? Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, I have some things I want to ask about, but I'm willing to
Sure.
let
So
Radius have the
I
stage for the
think
time being.
this tiefling proprietor does look to you and just say, "Would you like to attend this examination as well, or is there something I can refreshment I can offer you in the meantime?"
Um, uh, some refreshment, whatever you've got handy would be fine. I can wait until he's done.
Well, I have an excellent tea. If you would prefer something a bit more
Tea is fine.
adventurous,
No, tea is fine for
tea
now.
then.
Yes.
All right. And so they bring out kind of like a tea service, and it's clear that they've heated the water like magically, because they bring it right out and they set that up for you, and then take you into sort of a back room, uh, Radius, and I think sort of your immediate sense of this room is it's a little morgue-like for your immediate liking, perhaps. But then again, maybe that you find that kind of comfortable. But it's like it's sort of like a very bare concrete room with a stainless steel table and a floor drain.
And it would not be the first time that we have technically woken up with dead bodies. So it's fine.
Yeah,
Although
and there are lots of cabinets and stuff in here as well.
yeah.
And then as they bring you in, they have this sort of little wheeled, um, like one of those dentist stations that they
Yeah,
has
yeah.
it's on wheels that has little drawers for all
Oh,
the things.
cart, yeah.
And they say if you could just sit down upon the table here, and they bring out like some little half moon eyeglasses, and then put on like an elaborate like circlet, and they just say, and I will examine you.
And I will set my spell book next to me and allow her to and open it so she can watch.
Sure. So I think what they do to start with is simply cast Identify, which would let them know if there are any spells currently actively affecting you. And right now, I don't think there would be unless you cast some.
No.
And they say, all right, well, it's probably not as simple as that, or else you would already be aware. This circlet should give me some indication if you are afflicted with any of the more traditional curses. I'm not sure if you're aware, but curses can be quite various in their implications, their symptoms, and their signs. And so if you are afflicted with something more uncommon, I may not be able to identify it precisely. But let's see. And
Radius is just like, well, if you can tell if I'm affected by something in general, I can take that.
Sure. Do you produce blood?
Yes.
All right. If I could get a blood sample, and they pull that, and they're doing. I'm not going to go through necessarily every step, but they spend a few minutes poking and prodding you, occasionally bringing out strange little devices and examining you. And they just are very sort of professional and businesslike about it, calm. And then they just say, well, I'm not finding anything that would seem to me to produce the effect that you are looking for. However, I do have one more examination that I could perform. It is a bit different than what I've been doing so far. It's a bit more extreme, and it does require some degree of A, additional payment, and B, trust on your part. So before I would proceed, I thought I should discuss these things with you.
Trust as in.
It will require you to become quite vulnerable to me. Now, obviously, I can give you my word that I have no ill intent, but it is up to you to decide whether you trust that or not.
Well, honestly, I have no earthly idea where to start, so might as well try. Gotta risk it to get the biscuit.
Quite. Very well. I will require an additional 25 gold for this.
It's fun.
I won't make you pay up front because, after all, I could simply take it out of your pocket if I wanted. Do you wish to let your partner know before we begin? This will require you to be incapacitated, let's say, for up to an hour.
And I will go out and be like, Spine, could you keep an eye on me for about an hour? The next examination might be a little risky.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I'll just pick up the chair that they gave me and just walk in with it.
Sure. So, just to explain to both of you, this spell that I'm about to perform is a variation on what is sometimes known as astral projection. But rather than myself projecting out, I am drawing your astral self out of you so that I may examine it. But when this is happening, although you will be aware in your astral form, you will have no control over your body, nor any ability to take any action here in the physical. And this is why I mention the trust required. But certainly your partner may remain here to observe.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I think as they begin this ritual, they set out from various drawers, and you see they have all of these different cabinets in here too, and they seem to just unerringly go to each one and know exactly what they're getting out of it without needing to even really look for labels or anything. They get out a bunch of candles and some fine powder that they have you lie down on the steel table, and they outline you with this powder. And then they sit cross-legged on the floor next to it. And as they perform this ritual, they sort of draw as though they're pulling an invisible substance and Spine, you're watching as what looks like a spectral ghost of Radius is literally being pulled up out of the physical body. Um, I think for you, Radius, it feels very strange. You suddenly feel as though your whole body is going numb, and then you are floating, and you are not even seeing the room anymore. You are seeing around you what seems to be just an endless void of silvery mist. And you very sort of in a muffled way hear the chanting of this tiefling proprietor, um, but you find yourself in this strange silvery void, and while there, you hear what sounds like your own voice shouting in anger.
Doesn't seem good. Although Radius does wonder to himself, wonder if this is what it would feel like to blink back into existence. Kind of wondering what it was like for Tarsus and Kurkoid and matter of fact everyone else in the party. Because
You haven't done it yet.
right. And on top of that, metaphysical stuff is not necessarily my bag of magic. So it's Can I still reach out to my spell book?
You don't seem to have any possessions. You don't even look, as you kind of look down, you don't even really have like a physical self. You have sort of a vague like cloud of consciousness, but you don't have seem to have a physical body here. However, this voice that you hear, you still hear in this very muffled, distant way the chanting from the tiefling, but the voice that you heard that sounds like yourself is coming from somewhere else and not muffled in the same way.
I want to go towards that voice then.
Okay? You find that with a sort of just conscious effort, you can move, and you find yourself coming as though out of a fog and seeing a strange cavern that almost looks like it could be the inside of some gargantuan creature. Like it is a big, wide open cavern, but the walls are slimy and pulsing a little bit. And you see ahead of you, walking along the path deeper into the cave, what looks like thousands of Modrons. And as they are walking along, they are looking around at their environments like they're terrified. And you are reminded of the vision that you saw of the Modrons not too long ago, this strange sort of spectral image of them. And you see them more physical here, even though you feel like you're the one that's intangible here. And you see them looking around, and you follow the voices still because you hear your own voice and then others in the sounds of combat. And you see on sort of a plateau above all of these Modrons, you see what looks like the skeleton crew, only much stronger and more powerful than you know them now. And you keep finding your vision get distorted because at one point you see everyone as they are now, like the Githyanki Malleus, the rogue Spine, and so on. But then it flickers and it's just different versions of everyone, but they all look stronger and more powerful, and they are fighting something, but that something is indistinct. It won't solidify in your vision. And then you see that these strange sort of reality fracturing waves that you have sometimes seen in visions before are spreading out from them, from this fight, and starting to distort further and further. And each time they pass, the vision changes a little bit. and then it seems suddenly like it's this swirling lightning storm that's coming right for you.
Well, and I'm pretty sure I can't really dodge it, so let's hold on for the ride if it's going to collide with me then. This lightning storm.
Mm-hmm. Uh, it does. Meanwhile, let's cut to Spine, who
Mhm.
you're watching this whole ritual, and
Sipping my tea.
yes, and you're seeing this sort of fuzzy, like cloud of energy hovering above Radius's body, and the tiefling performing this ritual, and kind of like, gesturing around, brow kind of furrowed in concentration, occasionally making little sounds in between various bits of chanting.
Mhm.
But then you see them start looking like more concerned, like they're holding back. They've stopped the chanting, and then they suddenly like wince as though they're in pain, holding their head. And as you watch, spreading out from this little cloud of energy, you see these strange reality shattering cracks spiking out. And as they hit parts of the wall, you see patches of the wall suddenly change to like it's a completely different room. Like suddenly it's now,
Wallpaper and
yeah, and they're patching all over, and then everything is like flickering, and it starts to change faster than you can see anything, and then all of a sudden there's sort of just this explosive detonation, and you see the feeling literally like flung across the room to slam into the wall and then like drop down to the floor.
this
In the
close enough to have affected me.
uh no,
Okay.
it seems to have been related to the spell, not
Oh, okay.
necessarily a physical shockwave.
Okay.
But suddenly, like, it was such a flash that you didn't really see what happened. But now that cloud of energy is not above Radius anymore. Radius, you suddenly are back in your body, and you kind of like sit up, and you see that this tiefling is out cold across the room.
Well, congratulations. You just knocked out the doctor.
Yeah. That was a lot. I would like to use. Do I have it here? I don't think I have it here. Yeah, I'll use. Do they seem to be like? Well, they slammed to the wall. I'll use healing word to see if does that wake them up.
Yeah, it does. So also for the record, though, you saw the changes to the room from those like spiking, shattering effects, but it is returned to what it was now. But yeah, so they blink awake and they sit up, and they're just like their you know their jacket has come open, and the tie is like mussed, and their hair is sort of disheveled now, and they kind of sit up and just eyes wide and just, well, I've never seen that before.
I've seen something like it once, though, with more detail this time.
Indeed.
Pretty weird, huh?
Radius kind of chuckles and says, "If frightened Modrons and a very intense battle with the skeleton crew and something I can't identify is your idea of entertainment, yeah."
So they climb to their feet. They're like a little bit wobbly, but they sort of straighten up, and they're adjusting their suit and slicking their hair back, and then they just say, I have seen a great many things in these outlands, which are already a place full of infinite wonder and mystery, and I pride myself on being knowledgeable about the more esoteric and arcane aspects of this incredible world we live in. And so I can say, with an educated professional opinion, yes, that's very weird.
So I'll say so we can say it's probably not a curse, or at least not a traditional one.
Certainly not a traditional one, but I
You
think I
haven't
may
seen-
have something. Let me, if you will all just wait here just for a moment. I will be right back. And they literally just poof, like just disappear in a little puff of smoke. Um, I think right now we're going to cut back over to Malleus. You've been standing in line and it has been going very, very slowly. How have you been passing the time?
I think that Malleus has been making faces at the baby Modron that's being held by
Aw.
three people behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been helping entertain the baby by making stupid faces at it.
Mm-hmm. I think that that goes well for a while until
Uh-huh.
the Modron, adult Modron that's holding it, sees you doing that and scowls and then turns away so you can't see him.
Yes,
Aw.
You know, you're making
that's fine.
chaotic faces at my lawful baby. Um,
That's okay.
yeah. I think make a perception check.
Okay. Um. Okay, that isn't as good as it could have been. A 12.
So what I will say with a 12 is you've been in line for let's say an hour.
Uh-huh.
And I think what you kind of suddenly sort of realize belatedly is looking at all of the people that are around you in line, a whole lot of them seem to have a really specific piece of paper, like a folded piece
Uh-huh.
of paper that has like a little seal on it that many of them are either like holding in their hand or they've got it in a pocket where it's like showing. And you're seeing a lot of people with that same kind of piece of paper with that same seal on it.
Mhm. Yeah, but I have my own. I'm. Here's Malleus's thought. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so obviously there's forms that I don't have. However, I do have the Mimir.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have the forms and I can't access the gate by saying, hey, I just need to be within 5 feet of the gate. I don't need to go through it. I don't need to do anything. All I need to do is attune this Mimir to the gate and see what happens. So that's kind of his plan, seeing all of this paperwork that
Mm-hmm.
people don't have.
So even the end of the line that you're going to eventually get to is not close enough to the gate to do that.
Right, but it will be close enough to someone who can say, okay, yeah, this is gonna fly, or no, this won't.
I think that you're hanging out there for a little bit longer, and then all of a sudden, several rows ahead of you, um, you there is a halfling there in line who just says, it's just out of nowhere, suddenly goes, I can't take it anymore. I can't stand in a line like this anymore. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. And they're clearly just like having a panic attack. And you see one of those pentadrones kind of like stomping over to the nearest part of the line where they are.
Okay.
I mean, feel free to mind your own business. I'm just saying this is what's happening.
Yeah, but they're further up in line. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really playing this lawful because I know that if I
Sure.
get out of line, then the Modrons before will not save my place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's gonna try if the halfling comes by, he's gonna catch him and say, "Hey, you want to sell your approval form?"
Well, so the
I
halfling
got
is still in
Pickpocket.
line and isn't like moving anywhere. They're just basically having a freak out right in the middle of the line.
yeah.
And so the pentadrone kind of approaches and sort of leans over where they're looming over them and says, do you require assistance? And then they just say, I'm just trying to sell my goods in Mechanus. I just want to ride a train. Why do I have to wait in this line? I've made this trip before, and I've had to wait in the line every time, and I can't take it anymore. And they say, if you cannot wait in line, you are being disruptive. Do you require assistance to the beginning of the line, or would you wish to stay in your current place? And they take a moment, and they take a deep breath. Say, I wish to stay in my current place. And they just start sobbing so quietly, but then as the line moves up one space, they take the next space. And the whole line moves up forward, and as soon as everyone moves up forward, it's like once again everyone gets to take one step forward and goes, oh. But yes, and then the pentadrone like wanders back away. I think at this point, Cora, you have returned to like the outside, and it hasn't been that long, and you see that that Malleus has only moved like 4 or 5 feet through the line.
So hey Malleus,
I'll gesture her closer.
and I'm gonna see what happens if I like approach her.
Well,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah.
he's not very far in line, so you don't
sorry.
need to go too far in. But yeah,
But like is like anyone
I
who's
think
like behind him going to like give me a stink eye
well,
for
if you're trying to go through the line, like to pass the people who've gotten in line after him, is that what you mean, or are you trying to go like alongside the line?
alongside the line?
Yeah, so basically you're not in the line and you're kind of moving partly into that area, and so I think you get a sense that some of those pentadrones are like watching.
Okay.
But you seem like you're towing the line at this point and maybe don't need to be disciplined yet.
Right. Well, I'm going to go to Malleus. So we need a form before like we could get to the end of the line and then get kicked back to the beginning of the line because we don't have a form. So Tarsus is currently in the line to get the form to get the approval to get into this line.
Okay.
So it's probably not useful to stay in this line because we're not sure how long it's going to take for that to go.
I noticed. And that is certainly true.
The person behind you just says, "Are you going to get out of line?"
That's what I'm discussing with my friend. Hold on just a second.
You've got the three people who came into line after you are watching with just eyes like saucers.
Yeah. I mean, my fallback plan was to just try and use the Mimir to get close to the gate, but there's no telling whether or not that would actually be useful, and I'd rather not waste my time if it's not going to be useful. So yeah, so Malleus will step out of line and gesture the people behind him one more step forward.
One of them wants to shake your hand.
Yeah. He'll wiggle his fingers at the baby as he passes. So, because the Modron, she turned away with the baby Modron, and now he's kind of looking in the direction of the thing.
So yes, the two of you then are now back outside the big train station area.
So
All right. All right. So I have heard that there's a bakery around here somewhere. Let's go
I
get directions for the bakery because I gotta
I
tell you that line is hell. You need snacks.
Uh,
I do have to say that as a person, it's like that line literally sounds like hell to me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
As a person, yes, it does.
Yeah. Uh, so speaking of Tarsus, yeah, you have been in a line already. This line is not quite as long as some, but you've gotten far enough in it that you've been able to overhear a little bit of what is happening at the window that you're in line for.
good.
And so, what you've gathered so far is that the line that you're in now is to be asked a series of something like 20 to 30 questions. The number seems to vary depending on what the answers are, which will ultimately determine which forms you need to fill out in order to officially request a gate access form, at which point you will wait in a different line. And at the front of that line, you will be given the full set of application papers, which will require quite a long time to fill out and must be filled out perfectly. There's then an additional line where you will be able to turn in those forms, and if everything is in order, you will be granted a gate access pass. You gather that the process of getting all of those forms
Yep.
will probably take, let's roll the die, 22 hours. That is to get the forms.
That's to get the forms.
The forms is basically a halfling sized stack of forms that you suspect may take days to fill out. And that's assuming that you do it correctly.
I'll wager that there are people you can hire to help fill out those forms, but I'm not there.
yeah.
Right, but I have to get the forms first before I can even do that. The question is this am I in a sunk cost fallacy? But if
I mean, you were like 5% into this process.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
right. Tarsus is going to be actually chaotic and not actually going to sit in this line for eternity. I don't think. Question is, can I actually do anything about this? Oh. But question is, who's he going to talk to? I have sending. Who am I going to? Actually, I have several sendings. I can have my spells. I have 3 spell slots. Okay, this is perfect. Right. So I will send. I will send it. I will spend 3 second level spells and send a sending to Spine, to Malleus, and to Cora. Well, wait a minute, and to Spine, Malleus. Well, I know Cora went to go get Malleus, so Spine, Malleus, and Kneecap. Basically explaining to him that the projected time for me to get the forms, assuming everything goes properly, will take days. This may not be a efficient use of our time. I'm going to leave this line in search of one of you. Tell me in 25 words or less what you're up to. So I cast sending 3 times, once to each of those 3 people with that news. And the way sending works is you can send a message up to 25 words back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you send it to first?
I go in order of Spine, Malleus, Kneecap.
Okay. What's the message to Spine?
That it's just what I said for everything else, that it would take days to go fill out these forms according to the proper procedure. I'm proposing we try to find alternate methods. I'm going to leave this line. What are you up? Like, what are you up
Well,
to?
we may have a line on a way to do that.
Okay. Okay. So I will take that message.
Come to the magic nuts and bolts.
Um, okay. I still believe in information disseminations. I will send the message to Malleus.
Hmm. Do you
Okay.
send the same message, or do you
So,
include?
I include that Spine suggests rendezvousing at the Magic Nuts and Bolts.
Okay. I was like, got out of line, had only moved about 5 feet. We'll meet you there. Cora and I will meet you there.
Okay.
Looking for baked goods. On the way.
I'm tempted to send a third little spell set saying send me some, but I'm not gonna, but I don't eat unless I want to. So, but then I'll send a message to Kneecap. Basically, we're all rendezvousing at the Magic Nuts and Bolts to find a better solution to the problem of getting to the gate.
Kneecap is standing next to that door that he was left at, and it's like, and
Oh, so you're like 30 feet from me still? Wow.
Well, he was running around, and like I was
Yeah.
going to ask
I-
next, like what you had been doing in the hour or so.
yeah, I'm mostly just like standing next to the door, looking and just slowly contemplating trying to sneak in, and uh, when the message comes through, it's like, I'm standing near employee access, authorized access door. We'll go to magic nuts and bolts, and then I
That's
will.
an interesting piece of information. Okay. So, yep. So I'm going to try. Yeah, I'm going to head to Matt. I'm going to ask for directions to try to get to this Magic Nuts and Bolts with everybody else.
So I think then that we will kind of hand wave the logistic part of just getting you all there. That it will take a little bit of time, so some time will pass at there before everyone else shows up. But so I think um, what is happening with Spine and Radius is that you've been left behind, and the tiefling comes back and just says, "I happen to have a connection with the woman named Seraphil, who is on the Council of Order here in Automata, but she is also a representative of the various temples present in the city. What you are dealing with is something, I wouldn't say divine, but certainly
Cosmic.
cosmic, yes.
And beyond his pay grade.
Well, and so it may be that she will be able to tell you something that I could not. However, she's a very busy person. And so if I were to call in a favor to have her speak with you, this is something I'm willing to do at no cost. But what I would ask is, do not embarrass me in front of her.
All right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
The point just being, this is me going a bit out on a limb.
Mhm.
And I think it is of sufficient importance. But I would just ask that you treat any meeting with her as of that that level of importance.
Mhm.
Um, and he kind of like hesitates for a second and says, she can be a bit much. but please do not insult her, or else things will go poorly for all of us.
What?
She's not bad. She's just ah,
We will follow your lead.
all right. So I think I was kind of assuming that not everyone was there yet, but we can go ahead and say that everyone kind of collects there.
Hmm.
And so at this point, this tiefling who still hasn't given you a name does not seem inclined to bring the subject up, but says, so now that you're all here, I will contact her, and I think what I have to tell her will gain enough of her interest that she will make you an offer. This offer will probably require doing something for her, but in exchange, she will owe you a favor in return. And I think that she can tell you some things about what's happening to you that I may not.
Well, that's generally about how our work goes.
See,
Yeah.
I told you. I told you. There's always,
Always the way this goes along.
always
You-
one.
Well,
you were correct, Spine. I was incorrect.
there's always a way when you are apparently afflicted with a cosmic reality-altering affliction. I don't think most people have that working to their advantage. But I think then come with me. We'll have her meet us in the sitting room, and he goes to take you back out to just like what was that opening storefront, but that this time when you go into it, now it's like a cozy living room.
I like this house.
Yeah. And he says, it's very difficult to maintain it this way here. It's a little bit on the down low.
Oh.
So, I will call her now, and everyone on your best behavior, please.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And as he goes to do that, I will give, if they weren't there, I'll give the quick rundown. He says that they seem to be a little extra, could be a little much. So let's try not to make this council person want to murder us.
Indeed.
Usually that's a good plan.
I think Kneecap's just gonna kind of sit kind of cuddled up with Reenie.
Yeah.
You could probably ride her.
I think she's actually still maybe a little small for that.
Yeah.
And that would be presuming a lot.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a please don't ask me that look.
Maybe in a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, I think, so the tiefling here casts what is you assume to be a sending spell of some kind, and then he just kind of makes like a big sort of space clear, like everyone's out of that specific area, and then sort of appearing there is a tiefling who is in glorious, spotless white and gold robes, not a stitch out of place. Hair is slicked back and perfect. There is no like makeup but there's like a face that somehow like divinely she just looks like that, and that there is no makeup, but she looks perfect anyway. Like, and she gives you just this like the cliched expression of the perfect virginal high priestess. And she stands in the room and just gives a gentle nod to the tiefling, and then looks to the rest of you and says, I'm told that there are some poor souls in need of my guidance in this day of trial within the lawful gate town of automata. Tell me, poor souls, how I may aid you this day.
Um, could I make a religion check to see if I know what leanings this individual
Sure,
is?
sure, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
13 plus a d6. We'll just make there we go. Make it a 19.
Okay, 19 is pretty good. You actually see some indications that she might not actually even be a priest to just one single god. But what's very clear, lawful good all the way. She is lawful good and lawful good only. Yeah.
And it's always interesting when a tiefling ends up like that.
And
I
you all
mean, she's not the first you've ever met.
Fair. I am
I
not
was just
disagreeing.
gonna say,
It's
also,
just still, it's an interesting way to get there.
I'm assuming you don't say that out loud in the room.
Oh
No, no,
gosh,
no.
no.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's looking around, and if none of you jump to say anything?
I'll say, well,
yeah, you go ahead.
we have two things actually. First, and I guess the one that would be of more interest to you, is that we've got this reality fracture thing where we don't die but replace ourselves with another version when our previous body dies. Um, and when we all got here, we don't remember how we got here or why we're here. We just have this reality reset button involving us. The second thing is we'd like to study the portal for like 5 minutes. But
Yeah.
whatever we
Nice
can
off
do
the
to
other.
do whatever we can do to like satisfy your curiosity uh and I'm
Spine is looking around as if to say, could somebody else talk?
Yeah.
I'm not as good as this as my previous version.
And you all see
Yeah.
Okay.
all see Radius pull out a, a what looks to be a holy symbol, and it's two hands bound at the wrist with a red cord. And he looks to the priestess and says, I have been called from on high to pursue this affliction for me and my party, the skeleton crew. But it's been arduous and I've had to endure a lot. So all of us do need your guidance.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna mention the Modron March?
We do for all the time.
I haven't gotten there because
Yeah,
I got told to shut up.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Great Motron March is also of consequence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage, Radius.
Whew. 18.
Okay, 18 is. So I think she's listened to everything that you're saying, with an endlessly patient expression.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has just kind of, when she's hearing some of the nature of the glitch, she does have just an exchanged look with the tiefling proprietor, and he's just kind of like, mm-hmm. She says, "It was the right thing for you to reach me for this matter. This is indeed a matter of great import, and violations of this order are indeed something that cannot be permitted in an orderly, lawful universe. Though I understand and approve that this is not your doing, but rather something you are endeavoring to correct. And this is a worthy quest.
Indeed, we have endured a lot. Isn't that right?
It is,
Looking around at
yes,
everyone else.
yes,
Cap is
yes,
nodding.
yes, we have encountered many travails, many troubles. Have we have been thrust into a situation we did not understand, and only slowly trying to part the veil of infinite darkness around us. And by your grace, beneficence, and help, perhaps we can shine a light on what has happened to us and how to set right what once went wrong.
I will help you. However, I see and sense amongst you a chaotic nature. And I do not blame you for this, afflicted as you are. But before I may best serve you, I believe an act of good worth, assisting automata with a problem that I believe you may be uniquely suited to aid us in, I believe will provide an alignment of the fates such that my assistance will be more valuable to you. Do you accept?
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please tell us more.
We would
I
be
love
pleased
you
to
all
help.
accepting without even asking what it is yet.
I mean,
Yeah,
Lawful good.
I get it.
Yeah,
I'm just observing the fact is all.
Oh yeah.
She says, you may or may not be aware that there are discordant elements operating in automata. One such individual is an outlaw named Belta. She recently carried out a heist. She stole one of the logbooks for the Concordant Express. It contains timetables, passenger lists, manifests, and more. This logbook, is of the utmost importance. If you can recover the logbook, I will see to it that you can use the gate as you require. And if you are able to bring in the criminal Beltha as well, I will be able to do more for you.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions about this holy task?
Nature of Beltha?
Yeah. Do you have some information on the outlaw?
known
She,
associates, etc.
she is a Gitzerai. She is an outlaw. She operates in the underground tunnels known as the Inverse. She has a distinctive tattoo around her left eye that looks like a shattered gear. She has been seen to meet contacts at the Divine Machine Tavern. We believe that there are access points to the inverse that may be near that tavern, but we do not know which specific they may employ, and the inverse is a difficult, unpleasant place for many of us to visit. But I believe that the chaos in your natures may allow you to better navigate there.
So now I will just say, we are not necessarily known for our subtlety and or discretion.
True fact.
Would you need this to be handled quietly?
You are on a task for the Council of Order of Automata to arrest a criminal and bring in stolen property. You will be formally deputized for this task if you accept the quest. There is no need to do it in secrecy, or at least any more secrecy than you may feel you yourselves require to accomplish your mission.
We might be better off with our position being
Unofficial.
less than public.
It certainly can be maintained confidential, though I will insist, of course, on your being officially deputized.
We just may not wish to wave those badges around all the time.
That is up to your discretion.
Thoughts
Well-
of a plan come to mind,
Yeah.
fellow skeleton crew.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I may also wish to clarify, this is something that I suppose I at first assumed went without saying, but I must always take into account understanding of individuals who may not have had the background I do. We do require, if Beltha is to be brought in, alive, please.
I figured that'd be the case.
Mhm.
You have
will
to have
do
her
our
alive to
Face justice, clearly.
face justice in the lawful and proper manner.
Mhm.
Got
Of
that right?
utmost
Did I get
impers-
that? Did I get that right?
Of utmost importance. Of utmost importance is the recovery of the logbook. The arrest of Beltha is secondary.
okay.
Mhm.
So if we can get you the logbook, but not say the outlaw, you'd still be okay.
If you can recover the logbook, I will see that you are given priority access to the gate to study it as you need.
Mhm.
If you are able to bring in Beltha alive, I can do more for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We will.
Good.
Mhm.
Oh, we can give it a shot.
Yep, we'll do our best.
Yeah.
Now-
Wonderful.
They aren't known for violence, are they?
Well, they did
Yeah.
carry out a heist of a logbook that is of utmost importance to the proper and lawful operations of our city.
Well,
There,
okay. Did they kill anyone doing so?
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's all. That's all. Because if I can't guarantee if they meet us that it'd be okay to match their level of force.
I suspect they will resist arrest.
Right.
Mhm.
Just
Okay.
We have tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
We
we'll
have
do our
to.
best to bring her in so that she can face
Truly.
Automata's court.
Ace, and yeah, answer for what she has done.
Mhm.
The gods smile upon us this day. It was fate that brought you here, that brought you to me, and now we will do good for Automata, good for the principles of law and of holiness, and it will be a triumph for all of us this day. I have foreseen it. Now go, Do the holy will. Purify yourselves and prepare yourselves for the presence of lawful divinity.
Absolutely, 100% lawful divinity.
I will just respectfully bow my head.
Right.
I'm not. I'm only going to nod.
Yeah. And then she just smiles and nods, and then there's just a little bit of a brief glance to the tiefling proprietor, and she says, "Thursday then." All right. And then she
There's a story behind that.
Yeah. And as soon as she's gone, it's like, okay, if
I think you also look over to the tiefling proprietor at this point now that she's gone, and he's just like,
and then
that went extremely well. You would know if it hadn't.
Yes.
All right, so should I prepare reincarnate in case things really go sideways for her? I mean, our target.
You mean raised, or at least revivify, raise dead?
Well, I already have
Revivify.
revivify, but should I also prepare reincarnate?
I think reincarnate could be actually quite useful in that it doesn't like consume the body, but the person's still around. That's an awesome ability.
It also potentially makes them not look anything like they did before.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, I think.
Well, it's more along the lines of
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a caster right now who could do raise dead. I
could do raise dead.
Oh, okay, and
I
I do have
just need them-
revivify.
Yeah, you've got more important things to do. No, do the reincarnation, great option. I love it. Take that.
It's like
I
if
have-
things really go sideways,
This is hilarious.
And to be
we've got an
fair,
option.
and to be fair, by the letter of the law,
It would still be her.
reincarnating them is bringing them back alive.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. I can see Squishiana's gears turning.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So I think as the skeleton crew begins to make their plans, I think the camera will sort of start to pull out, and then over to the tiefling proprietor just pulling at his collar a little bit, and I think that is where we will stop for tonight.
Let's finalize our plans somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
We'll talk about that offline.
Yes, and so I think we will have to find out how the search for Beltha in the inverse of automata or automata or one of those. We will find out when we return next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So
So many
many
levels.
levels.